More and more, employers are recognising the talents and passion that disabled staff bring to the workplace and the benefits to their business.
I would say any business that says it's too hard to employ someone with a disability probably hasn't tried it.
There are so many people that are touched with a disability. Why not represent that community in our workforce?
What we can do is work with them to look at how possibly we can modify the workplace, provide new workstations, new access ways to allow that individual to potentially return to their role.
Work shapes our lives. It's an outlet for our passions and our creativity.
It's turned my life around.
It's nice to be in an environment where the wheelchair is not a barrier.
Throughout New Zealand, there are tens of thousands of people with disabilities who want to work and just need to find a supportive employer.
The biggest adjustment for employers is getting their head around employing a disabled person.
I've still got a career ahead of me, it'll just have to be a little bit different.
I had the passion and they, because I believed in myself, that helped them believe in me.
We have 6 people that work at Bunnings that have disabilities of varying ranges, some of them intellectual, we have a couple that are hearing impaired, but really it's not a barrier.
Education provider Wintec is one of Hamilton's largest employers, and yet up until 4 years ago they didn't have an employment policy relating to people with disabilities.
We were sitting in a room doing legal compliance and counting disability toilets. And someone had the question, well, we have all these disability toilets, but where are all the disabled people?
They are open to my disability and things that may be hard for me, so that they know that maybe I need a little bit of help.
These people are normally the highest performers in the organisation.
Fairfax Media consciously and deliberately embrace diversity in the workplace. Chloe and Emma each have an intellectual disability. Neither girl had worked before, but their employer soon found valid tasks for the girls to be trained to fulfill.
I love it. You know, the people are really nice. The company's nice. My boss is amazing.
When someone is disabled as a consequence of an injury or accident, work can be a positive part of rehabilitation.
I believe that most people would like to return to work. I think that sense of self-worth and purpose, not to mention the financial association with work, is very, very important. Now, oftentimes it means that people can't necessarily, after a serious accident, return to a role that they once had or held previously. But what we seek to do is to work with them in that rehabilitation process to allow them to get the skill sets to return to some form of employment.
Tree falling would be one of the most dangerous jobs in the forest, and it's making sure that when we send someone up that we know that they're competent.
Danny McBride's a safety officer in the forestry industry. It's a role he only took on after he sustained a spinal injury. A tree fell on him, crushing his spine.
My boss had said straight away that they'll, after I'd had the operation and that I'll have a job for you and you don't have to worry about that side of things, and I think it's just, it's been a great journey really.
Jai Waite knew he'd need to retrain after a spinal injury.
I always thought that I'd be able to work. There was no question, it just meant that I couldn't do any physical jobs, it just had to be something behind a desk.
He now works as a documentary editor.
Being an editor was something that I've always had a passion for, and that's when I thought, well, let's try, see if there's a course out there that'll suit me. For me to work, only real thing I needed to adapt was on my desk I've got Ergo rests, which just allow me to rest my arms and shoulders. I do remember the buzz of driving to work and kind of going, yeah, I've got somewhere to be, I'm just like everyone else.
It's amazing what people can achieve if they're just given a few tools and the right support.
A lot of hearing people with businesses will say, deaf can't do that. But Jane's not like that, she thinks we can do anything.
The message is talk to us. I think that's really important, and certainly our team are trained and willing to support employers into making those adjustments in the workplace.
I would say to any employer out there, give it a go, because it's definitely worth it. And it could even be the cornerstone to your culture.
Absolutely give it a go. Why not step up and make a difference?